In another video on the channel, we built the Fluent 2 breadcrumb control together. In that video, we explored some potential use cases, including navigating between screens in an app. Another common use case for the breadcrumb is when browsing files and navigating between folders. So in this video, I'll show you how to use the Fluent 2 breadcrumb component to create a dynamic file navigation breadcrumb inside of Power Apps. Let's take a look. Channel members have access to download the apps used in the videos, as well as the YAML code used in the components that I showcase. You can click the join button below the video if you're interested in supporting the channel. On the screen, I've inserted a table control, which we'll use as our display of files and folders. We have a couple columns from our SharePoint library that this is connected to, such as the name column, the full file path, the created, and the created by columns. We want to create a file browser experience where our folders and files are displayed, and we can click a folder to navigate to it. Above our table control, we want to show the full folder path that we're currently viewing, and also allow navigation to different folders that are listed in the breadcrumb. We'll start in the onSelect property of our table. Here we want to check if the current selected table row is a folder, and thankfully there's a column for this called isFolder. We'll enter if self.selected.isFolder, and if this value is true, then we'll set a variable called var_current_folder. This folder's file path is the value that we want to set this variable as, so we'll enter self.selected.fullPath. After this, we also need a / at the end of the full path, so we'll enter an ampersand and the / in quotes. We'll close our formula. If the user selects a folder, we want to store that folder in a variable, and now we can use that variable to filter our table items. We'll head to the items property and we'll enter a filter function. Here we can enter a condition for the full folder path column being equal to var_current_folder. Now the var_current_folder variable is going to be blank initially, and this will cause you to not have any items in your table. So I suggest setting this variable to a specific value, either on visible of the screen, on start of your app, or using the coalesce function to define what the default value is if the variable is blank. We'll go with on visible of the screen, and here we'll just set that variable again, and this time we'll set it to the shared documents folder. Keep in mind our folders always need a / at the end, so we'll add that to shared documents. We'll first insert our breadcrumb control in our main container and then move that up above our table control. In the items property of our breadcrumb component, we essentially need to create a record for each folder in the folder path that we're currently in. To do this, we'll use the forAll function, and inside the forAll function, we want to iterate over the number of folders in var_current_folder. We'll use the sequence function followed by countRows, and we want to count how many rows exist by splitting var_current_folder into a single column table by the /. We're going to have some other values that we don't want to confuse with this record later in the formula, so we'll use the as function and define this as folder sequence. Again, this will create a sequence of numbers in a single column table starting at the number 1 and counting up however many folders are in the folder path stored in var_current_folder. We'll enter a comma, and next we'll define what we want to iterate over each sequence of the record in the forAll loop. We'll use the with function to define a scope variable, and we'll call this scp folder name. The value of this record is going to be the folder's name, and we can get this by using the index function followed by our same split function from the row above. When the folder path gets split into a single column table, we can reference a specific row using the index function. In this case, the row we want it to return is the same number from our sequence, since that tells us which folder we're currently referencing in the forAll loop. For this, we'll enter folder sequence.value. With our scope variable defined, we'll insert our record schema from the default items property of our breadcrumb. For the item key, we'll reference folder sequence.value, and for the display name, we'll reference scp folder name.value. The screen in this case should be blank because we're not navigating between screens, and we'll also leave the icon empty. Now you'll notice immediately that there's a warning that this is non-delegable. You'll probably have encountered this at some point, but filtering by a folder's path in a SharePoint document library is not delegable, so just keep that in mind. With our items set up, you can see our Breadcrumb now displays our shared documents and our Code Vault folders. Code Vault is highlighted, so we know that we're in that folder currently. Now we need to set up the event that happens when the user clicks one of the breadcrumbs. And to do this, we'll go to the onSelect property of our breadcrumb component. Here we simply want to set our var current folder variable. The value of this should be concatenating the first number of folders up to the folder that we selected. And we can get this using the first end function with our item key parameter passed in from our breadcrumb component. We want to concatenate the display names from each item with a /, and then we have to add one more slash to the end. This completes our formula and gives our table the file path to filter by, depending on what the user selected in the breadcrumb. We'll go ahead and add the is folder field to our table, and that way we know which ones are folders that we can select. If we play our app, we'll go ahead and select the Code Vault row, and now you can see our breadcrumb is updated. Inside the Code Vault, I can go back to our shared documents folder just by clicking on the breadcrumb. If there's another folder inside of this folder, I can simply click that, and now we're another level deep. I can skip back to shared documents, or I can simply select the level before. Now, if you're using the actual table control to create a file explorer view, you might want to add a launch formula to the onSelect property of your table. So in this case, if the record in our table that we select is not a folder, we can use the launch command to launch self.selected.linkToItem. So in our test folder, if I click on this book Excel file, it opens a new tab and allows me to edit the Excel file. You can also use this same concept inside of a gallery if you prefer to have a gallery as your file navigation. For all of your formulas, you would simply replace self.selected with this item when used inside of a button inside of your gallery. In this case, the table control gives an easy layout that you can set up fairly quickly. And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this video on looking at some of the other capabilities inside of the Fluent 2 breadcrumb component. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel for future videos like this one. Let me know if you'd consider using the table control as a file browser, or if you'll stick to using a gallery. If you're interested in supporting the channel, click the links in the description to either become a premium channel member or check out some of the high-quality PAG products at the PAG store linked below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video and have a great day.